Join Dalton and Jacob as they discuss the ever-changing world of trading card games. TCG Buzz starts now.
What's up, Buzz Squad? It's your boy Dalton, back at it again. Feel like we might be a little early on this, but hi, Jacob. How you doing?
I am doing well. I'm doing very well. Dalton had to get up and turn off the lights because I forgot to do so.
Of course you did.
I did. I'd also like to say, before we do literally anything else, on this chilled out, relaxed Wednesday afternoon, it's raining outside for us. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Really. So we're covering Drago Knight today.
Yes.
And we're doing it kind of a little bit different than we've done previously. Previously, we've always waited until a set was fully revealed in order to talk about it. We'd wait to get the full picture. But we're changing it up today. There are still some cards yet to be revealed for it. We're going to get through talking about ones we like, though, because I think this is a really transitionary set for Buddy Fight as a game, and it's one with some really interesting stuff going on, and we've had several people already go, hey, where's your Drago Knight review? So we're going to do it a little bit early, and if stuff gets revealed after the fact...
Or during.
It
could happen.
We can always do a follow-up.
Or we can continue this conversation in our Discord.
Hey, look at that. It's like he's a professional.
Something like that. We do have super chats, guys, so if you want to support the cause so we can keep paying these light bills, because I swear these light bills are crazy, right?
Yeah, the lights are pretty bright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could do that, or you can join our Patreon and support us there.
So, couple other things real quick before we get into the meat of the discussion. We did just recently hit 1,800 subscribers. That's a pretty cool milestone. Please don't unsubscribe.
Did you not learn anything from last time?
Well, last time I said please unsubscribe
For a meme.
So now I'm saying don't unsubscribe.
But you see, now they're going to do it to spite you, though.
Right. Clearly the answer here is that Jacob should just not talk. Ever.
I like this plan. I really do. But, yeah, let's get into this Drago Knight, if that's what it's going to be called. Unlike its trial deck, that's Drago Knight, however it's supposed to be pronounced.
Yeah, let's start with that. Those are some dumb names, Bushi. Why would you name one thing Drago Knight and the other thing Draw Knight? You're just asking to confuse people.
Very true.
You know,
like, it easily could have been what would be a good name for the trial deck? The Knights of the Gargantuan Sword would have been a baller name. You know, just saying. Or even Drago Knight still works for the set, but the trial deck definitely needed a different name. Wouldn't you say?
I'm just imagining the situation right here. A friend messaged you and is like, hey, I'm looking into that Buddy Fight thing you've been playing. I want to play it. What should I buy? And you go, oh, buy Drago Knight. And they just buy Draw Knight instead. Where you say, buy Draw Knight. It's a good starter thing. You know, it's not expensive. You can get into it. And they're like, but it's $70 a month.
I don't know if we're going to have those problems. But, yeah, I could see the confusion. Let's see here. What's chat saying? Yeah, lost cards are cool. They are. We want to talk about the reprints first? Because I know you got words about it.
Yeah, there are a couple reprints in this set. And particularly, I like seeing reprints in sets. And they're a big focus for me. And typically, for main booster sets, you don't get them outside of the first box of a season. But this set almost could be considered that in a lot of ways.
I agree.
It is essentially our new core set. You know, it's a good starting point in a lot of ways. Is it perfect? No. But I do think Bushiroad intends certain main booster sets to be good jumping off points. You saw that with Gargantua Awaken. That was obviously one of the best starting points for a booster set they've ever done.
Right.
And you didn't really see that with the next two main booster sets. But this one, I do feel that way. I also, it comes in part with the big transition in Dragon World with Yuga's deck drastically changing.
Something like that. Completely unwarranted in my eyes, but
I guess we'll get into that.
it makes sense, but it also, the way they're doing it, it's kind of stupid. But that's besides the point. But as of right now, there's only 3 reprints, correct?
Currently, yes.
All right. 2 in Ancient World and 1 in Generic World. I believe there's only 2 that were warranted to be reprinted out of the 3. Jacob believes only 1. We both can agree on Buddy Block getting a reprint.
Buddy Block reprint is amazing. I do kind of wish it wasn't a double rare.
I don't know. I think I kind of want it as a double rare. Because we had... What was the last double rare generic card we've had?
Buddy Sword.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the Retrain a double rare?
No, I think it was a rare.
So
No, because there's a common one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've had at least 1 generic double rare. So I kind of like it, and it makes sense. It's a good card.
Yeah, my only complaint is it makes my foiled copies of the promo version feel a little less special.
It shouldn't.
I know.
Remember, it's a different foiling.
I know, but
and yours is still better.
does.
Yours is better because it's old school double rare.
It is old school double rare, which makes me very happy, which is why I had to snatch them up.
Yeah. But you only have 1, so.
I have 2.
You do?
I picked a second one up in case I ever needed it.
In case you have.
But I have not used it for anything. But yeah, Buddy Block is a killer staple card. It took us forever to even get the thing in English. And then we get a reprint, 5-6 months later?
Are we talking from Japanese release or from?
From English. English to
No,
English.
I don't think it was that long.
Yeah, exactly. Like the break between our original print and our reprint was so small compared to the Japanese version because we got the card originally so late.
This is true. Maybe hopefully Recovery Veil gets reprinted in set 2, just to throw that in there, so a little bit easier access for people who say had to work when their locals had that tournament.
I'm in the camp of every promo card should get reprinted at some point. If it's a card that you can only exclusively get as a
Making up words
as a promo, it needs to be reprinted at some point, especially for those players who don't live in an area with a local game store.
That too, make it a little bit easier for people to get them. Besides the internet, or sometimes it could be a little bit expensive. Maybe you're only looking for 1, but you also want to get cards from the set too. The other 2.
Yeah.
We have what is
both
it?
Trying to do the same transition at the same time. Doesn't
what
work.
is it? It's the spell note, correct?
Yeah. Wicked Dragon of Fabrication.
Isn't it Wicked Lord?
Wicked Lord, maybe.
Or Emperor? Wicked Emperor?
Wicked Emperor.
This isn't it on the same thing as the because Ice Emperor, Flame Emperor. I'm pretty sure it's Wicked Emperor.
He's the spell null.
Spell null. This is where me and Jacob disagree heavily on. Well, I shouldn't say heavily. I have my arguments against it that he still hasn't fully fought through. I'd say it's a nice card to have reprinted for new players who are just getting into the game and don't want to spend the money if they're already buying the set. Everything's there, especially since, what is it? Genesis Dragons?
Yes, Genesis Dragons.
So Primordial Dragons are getting printed in this set. The new Ancient World archetype, which looks pretty cool.
Oh, we'll talk about him.
Oh, we will. We will.
I think it's like a C+ of a card. I don't think it's a bad reprint. I just don't think was one that many people were begging for,
But then I also gave you the argument of what would they print instead of it.
And my argument is, I'm not upset it's printed. I just wish we had a couple other big hitters besides just Buddy Block.
What other big hitters? Though? Give us a few examples. Come on.
Well, we got Star Dragon World in this, right? So far, they do not have any reprints. There are still a few cards to be revealed.
You know, maybe a very good Monster Null.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Like Antimatter Cloud would be a amazing reprint right now.
But I was talking for Ancient World.
Oh, for Ancient?
Like, yeah.
Monster Null.
No, I was talking about general cards for Ancient World.
Oh. Ancient World's got...
But then you said Star Dragon World, and then I said, yeah, like the Monster Null. That would be cool.
No, it's a fine reprint. It's just not one that, rocks my socks off because, like, it already got reprinted once at Rare. It's not played very much,
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at Chad and Roxas. That's a funny name for Jacob. I'll wait. It's just the one that says Genesis Dragons, Primitive Dragons on the wiki, Primordial Dragon on spoilers, and you see it?
Yeah.
HJ Dragons for Jacob.
The handy dragons.
The handy dandy dragons right there for you. And then the other one, Link Dragon Order Links. Why is it being reprinted? Like, I understand it's a good card, but it's still in its season, I guess. Hence why I have problems with it.
Yeah, it's weird for a card like that that's, recent and not a meta-defining staple to be reprinted so soon.
Right. Like, that easily could have been like a Rise and Fall of Dragons reprint if that's what we wanted or something like that. Or, what's the other one? Skylines, right?
Skylines would be really
Skylines would be a pretty cool one. Or this or that or something else. But that one just seems kind of out of place in my eyes. It's like, it's cool to have it, but too soon?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So, let's get into our actual list of cards.
Actually, derailing you here for a second. I want to talk about what's not in this set. Obviously, we don't know everything yet, but there's a distinct lack with the worlds being supported in here of certain recent archetypes. There's Neo Dragon support and Astrodragon support.
Oh, yes.
But no Draw Metal support. I almost said Draw Knight.
My argument for that, though, on why there isn't and most likely won't be, is the fact that on Buddy Spoiler, they specifically said this set contains cards for these 4 characters specifically. And somehow Tsuku made his way in there, that dirty heathen. And wasn't there there was a Prism Dragon card too? Right, Jacob? Double check spoiler while you're talking.
There's not.
Just double check.
There's not.
I said double check.
I looked at them 5 minutes ago. There's not.
I can't trust you with your eyes. But yeah, it's kind of like, okay, it would be neat. Don't get it wrong, but yeah, you're only gonna get Lost World cards, Astros, Deity Tribe, Dimension Dragons, and LDOs, and a new introduced archetype as well with Primordial Dragons.
Where the Max Dragons at?
Again, not part of the thing. Like, if it would have been that type of thing, it could have worked. But, Tsuku made his way back in. No problem.
Good job, Tsuku. Good for you and your Neo Dragon fans. The rest of us, those cards are pack filler.
Sure, you could say that.
Dragon World feels fine. No complaints really there.
We're going into this now, or?
Oh, are we? Which world did we start with? Ancient?
Oh, I thought you were still talking about random stuff. You just started talking about Dragon World, so you kind of threw me off. But no, we have to talk about the dual/no world cards, which I got right here. Cross Intercept is actually a fantastic card. I'm glad Bushi didn't completely forget about dual world cards, but it's a triple rare, which is a little sad. So it's going to be expensive because it's a fantastic card, especially when cast cost is only dropping a soul from an Astra or an LDO. And you could choose one of the following three as a counter, destroying up to 2 cards on your opponent's field, bouncing 2 of them, or rusting 2 of them. What do you think about that card? I think it's fantastic.
It is, and it makes me want more generics and more dual world cards and more all these other things that Bushiroad has forgotten for years. Just seeing a dual world card, and not only a dual world card, but a good one, makes me wish they'd do more of them. I mean, the number of big, good dual world cards we've gotten in Ace, you can count on one hand, this card included. Where are they at, Bushi? Give us more of them. We love dual world cards. What do you think?
I think thank you, Chronicle, for the $5 donation. Saying Bushi wants the money with Cross Intercept.
Yeah, it's going to be expensive, isn't it?
It will be. It will be.
Guess.
Because at least $12. At the very least. But I can easily see it getting up to $20.
Well, it is a secret, right?
It is.
And
I was corrected on that.
Yeah, so it's a secret, which might push the value up more.
We'll see when Dalton.
I'm not sure. That's kind of hard to say. I'm really wondering what it's going to be at price wise. Probably
it
25.
It depends. Well,
copy.
First off, you have to look at it like this. It depends on how it's going to be used in both decks, if it is going to be used, which I think it will be, at least in LDOs. I don't know how it would be used in Astros, because I do know they like to keep their souls. I'm pretty sure they are getting a soul ramper in the set, but it's only 1 card, so I don't know if it's worth running this card.
Are they?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
I remember seeing it, or it might be.
No, that's Neo Dragon support. Maybe.
Oh
If-
gosh.
Yeah.
But don't shatter my dreams like that. Is that but yeah, LDOs would just make the best sense. Hence why it's like, why wasn't it just an Ancient World card? But I'm still glad Star Dragon World also gets another good card.
Okay. So that was kind of your tangent, because it's a dual world one and it's kind of awkward in this format, right?
Not really, because
Yeah.
we go based off a spoiler, because they started off with that and then they go down alphabetically. So now Ancient World, right?
Ancient World, and I'm going to let you start us off.
Wait, that sounds like you have cards.
I do.
Holy smokes. All right, so my first card is Giga Spiral Thunder Axe King Agito.
I love how his names just get cooler and cooler as time goes on.
I think this one reverted, because he was an emperor last time.
He
And now he's
got
back to a
demoted.
king. We still haven't gotten a Lord Agito, which would be cool, but I digress. Call cost place on top of an LDL monster and pay 2 gauge, which is neat. Counter call it. Can't complain. Obviously it has Spiral D share, so it gains all of the D in its souls. I think it's solid. Nice extender for a size 3 variant deck. I don't think it's going to see much play in the size 1 variant. It might, but that's pushing it, I think.
I will add, its SP is also really cool
Oh
looking.
God, yes. God dang it, Agito. Why do you have such fantastic SPs? The rest of your versions are so dirt cheap, basically, and then your SPs come out and you're just like, dang, that's another $50. I find that funny, but that's a side note that doesn't need to be said.
All right, so I'm going to talk about a card.
Whoa. Let me fit. I only have one other card.
Oh, okay. You're going to go
Let-
through
let-
your side first?
Let me just say this one,
That's
just in case it's overlapping. My next one is Sword Flash Go-Go with the D share ability. The D ability of when this card attacks and destroys a monster, stand this card.
What
Well,
if his
that-
name is pronounced JoJo?
See, no. I went to text to speech. It's Go-Go.
That's your reference. For...
That's my reference. Because that's what I thought. I'm like, it totally could be JoJo. Like, just throw a little JoJo. You know, who knows? Maybe I will
Come on,
just
that
call
is
him JoJo.
totally a JoJo.
I know. But then again, we also thought it was a
That's like copyright.
we also
safe
thought it was a
JoJo.
but we also thought it was a Raging Spirit just by the way it looked, because it looks badass. I mean,
See, it's unrealistic though, because Bushiroad won't print Raging Spirit cards anymore, so we should have
true.
known.
well, the other option was a Dragon Chief Emperors, right? No, yeah, that's right. They had so many name changes too. I think it's fantastic. What's his name? Can't remember his name. Destroyer's new form that's coming out in the set. What's that gonna do? Thank you for all of my attacks that I'm gonna be penetrating you with probably like 6 crit until you die.
All right.
It's true though, because you don't have to pay anything for it to restand. You just have to destroy a monster.
Neat.
All right, now please.
So I'm going to talk about the new archetype,
Of course,
aka Primordial Dragons, aka
primitive dragons.
Primitive Dragons, aka Genesis Dragons, aka Retro Dragons. That's Jacob's term for them now.
I thought it was handy.
Oh yeah, Handy Dragons. I'm going to start with their main boss card, but I'd also like to add, before doing that, you could also call this archetype the first Ancient World archetype Jacob has interested in since Buddy Fight 100.
Oh yeah, that's when Raging Spirits came out.
Yep. Like, I've always been like, well, DCs are cool, but they're not my
Well,
thing.
that's not true.
LDOs are
that-
cool. I might try them. Then you're like, no.
No, we had a deal where you were gonna get them, but then God Punks came out, and you're like, no, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you were like, but if we're gonna do, well, yeah.
But
Yeah.
so I will probably be picking these up from this set, and it is probably the only thing I'm picking up from the set.
And when you see Dalton deck profiling deck, you'll know that Jacob gave up on the deck.
Oof.
You know it's true.
I'd also like to say, to be fair, I don't see this deck being that competitively viable. I think if you're going to play Ancient World at regionals or something, you're probably better off playing Max Dragons or even LDOs. They're a fun gimmick deck as of right now.
This is true, but you never know. It could end up being like new meta. Who knows?
It
But
won't.
It most likely won't, especially with some of the most recent releases for the Thunder Empire and Chaos cards. But
A general rule of thumb, if a card in your deck says lifelink lose, you're not bringing it to tournaments.
I don't know about that one, sir.
I'm just saying.
I'm pretty sure people brought Seeger.
Kind of, but Tempest Enforcer was the worst one.
But at the time, it was your big boss cards.
No, people always tried to skip it, just run Spartan.
Spartan's
Yeah.
the one before.
Yes,
Tempest.
I know.
So you're not skipping it.
No, like skip it from the deck. They didn't want it in there. No one wanted Tempest Enforcer.
Maybe.
Because it was just a big beat stick that if he died, you instantly lose.
You had ways around it.
Rolling Stone.
You had ways around it.
All right, so Great Dragon of Genesis, Big Bang Dragon. That is the official translation.
Oh, wait. I got to stop you real quick. Bryce, it doesn't matter about Antimatter Cloud. It won't stop it. All right, you can go.
All of Ancient World dies to Antimatter Cloud.
LDO
What do you?
size 1.
The one exception. Good job.
Hey, said all, and I had to correct you.
So it is 20,000 power, 4 critical, 10,000 defense. Pay 3 gauge and put the top card of your deck into its soul. You cannot call monsters other than Genesis Dragons. That's kind of typical at this point. I mean, honestly, that text doesn't need to be there, really, does it? Like, what are you teching into this when you have this guy on the field already?
Maybe some weird LDO Genesis mix-up. You know,
You'd be limited to only size zeros.
Quick Wit. That's my argument. And you'd be running an item. Equip the item, call Quick Wit, gain a gauge, and draw. I see no problem.
So you can only call Genesis Dragon monsters okay. That's cool. This card's abilities cannot be nullified, and its souls cannot be dropped by your opponent's card effects. Good skills, right? If you have a size 0 Genesis Dragon on the field, this card on the field cannot be destroyed. Penetrate, lifelink, lose, soul guard.
So my first thing on that first effect, that's a real meta way to say you can't use Omnilords in the deck.
Yes. No Count Dawn for you.
Darn, man. I want my Count Dawn.
That's what they're hitting.
Yeah, it still seems fun. I will let you take this one. I did take LDOs kind of from you. And
Dalton takes every deck from everyone until someone fights back on it. It's just de facto, this is Dalton's deck.
This is true. And that's probably part of the reason why I never know what deck to play when I'm down at regionals. Because I have everything. Yeah, I think it's good. Def probably won't be a meta relevant, but it's nice to dream sometimes.
Yeah. I do have to go over the hands. Got to give me a hand and go through them. Because they're kind of important in this case. So you have 2 of them. They're size 0s.
Mm-hmm.
The first one I'll go over is, because I'm right now. Well, that's going to be weird because it's mirrored. I'm right-handed, so we're going to go with righties first. Rightes. Genesis right hand rightes. 10,000 power, 2 crit, 1,000 defense on a size 0. Cool stuff. This card cannot be called if your boss card is not on the field and can only be called to the right. Of course, it's your right hand, right?
I want to have 2 right hands though. Is that cool? Can I have 2 right hands? Or maybe I want 2 left hands.
Nope.
Okay.
You get 1 of each. Call cost, put the top 3 cards of your deck into its soul. When this card attacks, deal 1 damage to your opponent. Triple attack soul guard. So it's a big beat stick, and it has souls, which are there to protect. You have to destroy it multiple times then, so you can even start to attack the head. I do kind of wish we'd get legs as well, just so I can make the best Exodia joke.
It's called the 3-card Exodia.
Okay.
You see, because, Jacob, this is the reasoning behind it. In Yu-Gi-Oh, you have 5 monster spots. Hence why Exodia is 5 pieces.
And we have 3.
We have 3. That's why we only have 3.
I like it. Now to give it chaos territory. So, Genesis left hand lefties. These names are very creative, guys. 10,000 power, 2 critical, 1,000 defense. This card can only be called if you got the head already. Call cost, put the top 3 cards of your deck into its soul, so same deal. When this card attacks, destroy a card on your opponent's field. Good skill. Honestly, better than the deal 1 damage in a lot of cases. Depends on the matchup. Triple attack soul guard. They're pretty basic, but they are fun. Add in their other support cards. You get some draw support, some searching toolboxing. They've got, honestly, one of the best toolbox cards in the entire game right now. I'll go over that real quick, I guess, and then we'll skip on.
Yeah, but let me talk about the righty and lefty real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Because how you said the lefty was better because it destroyed everything. But there's too much destruction protection in the ace. I don't see how it's going to be that good. At least the burn damage, it's going to be a little bit more consistent compared to most.
That's why I said it depends on the matchup.
Fair enough. Just throw a little Joe boy out there. He'll stop him.
The one thing I was not prepared for.
So you got the toolbox card ready?
I do.
Go for it.
It is Genesis Pulsation. Pay 1 life. Choose and use one of the following 2. Put up to 1 size 3 Genesis Dragon from your deck into your hand and shuffle it. That's just great already. You'd already be playing it at 4. Second ability, if a size 3 Genesis Dragon is on your field, put up to 2 size 0 Genesis Dragons with different names from your deck into your hand and shuffle your deck.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
You know it's good when you've got a card that costs 1 life that literally searches out your entire monster lineup.
This is true. It's fantastic. Actually, I wasn't paying attention. Does the size 3 have a gauge cost?
Yes.
Okay. I
But the other 2 are free.
I just wanted to make sure there was gauge being used somewhere.
Yeah, he's got a 3 gauge.
So basic size 3, old school size 3, ancient world. Yeah, pretty good.
All right, so do you got anything else for Ancient World?
You already know that answer.
No.
Correct.
Neither do I.
All right, let's go. Dragon World. Shoot.
Uh-oh.
You have nothing?
No.
Oh, okay. I got you. I also have nothing.
Guys, what what Dragon World cards do you want us to talk about? Because neither one of us were really all that impressed by.
Well, it wasn't that. It's just more. It's your general first wave of support for the new Garga deck
G boost
and your basic Dimension Dragon cards that are actually worse because you're not getting that busted triple rare monster that's like Agonia or Epis.
There's one Dimension Dragon I thought was pretty good. The one that just does protection, I think.
Sure.
But yeah, I was not.
If you have it pulled up, we can talk about it.
If I knew what card it was, I would certainly pull it up. Oh, I found it. I clicked randomly, and I found it. Dimension Dragon Doriel. 5,000 power, 2 crit, 5,000 defense, size 2. Pay a gauge, put the top card of your deck into its soul. All Dimension Dragon monsters on your field cannot be destroyed, nor returned to hand by card effects. If your flag is Lost World, this card gets plus 10,000 power, penetrate, and double attack. Soul Guard. All I'm saying is that card would be automatic must-have if it wasn't a size 2.
Yeah, that's true.
People are still going to run it, but not as much as they would if it was, say, a size 1. Because size 2 is really tight already in Dimension Dragons. You agree with that?
Yeah, I'd still run it, but no, I probably wouldn't run it. Maybe.
It's hard to find space for size 2s.
It is. Well, it's not that. It's just hard to find space in general because you're like, I want draw engine and burn through deck engine, and that's it. So we'll see what happens with that.
No one has requested any specific cards from Dragon World.
Yeah. So moving off to Generic World, I believe.
I think I will give a...
Oh, no, it's Lost World, correct.
First, I will give a brief summary of Dragon World since we're not going to go over them in depth. G-Boost is standard main character affair.
Yep.
Nothing surprising there at all. Dimension Dragons, pretty minor support, to be honest. The new impact's pretty decent.
Yes, that's true. You do get the counter impact to get your Lost World and do shenanigans, which is nice.
But yeah, despite the fact that they're essentially completely reinventing the main character's deck in this, the Dragon World stuff was not very interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of your run-of-the-mill first wave support in a sense.
You know, when the most surprising card is just a card with protection on it, that it's not a very exciting set for that world. So we move on to Generic.
Generic, Buddy Block, being reprinted. Fantastic.
Literally the best card in the set.
I don't know, that Agito, man.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding about that, but it is a fantastic card, and I'm sure there's not a single person out there that's like, oh, I don't want that reprint. No, everyone wants it. It's a good card.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's going to want it. I'll finally have my own copies.
Instead of just borrowing them from Christian.
True. That's basically it for Generic World.
Yeah, that is literally it.
Off to Lost World, right?
Lost World.
I initially wasn't going to say anything about it, and then I was looking through it, and I saw one card.
Is it the card I think it is?
I don't know. What card do you think it is?
I'm not going to say that, because if I say it out loud and it's not, it would be awkward.
Well, that would be the fun part, so what do you think it is?
Is it the one we've talked about in the past?
What one have we talked about in the past? No, that one's up for you. I have a
Oh,
completely different deck.
you're leaving me to hit that one.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
I'm talking about Dimension Gate,
Oh,
the new Nullify.
the
That's-
nullify at
That's basically a destroyer as a spell. Because you nullify the attack and then you place the attacking card into the drop.
the nullify that I thought was not very good.
It might not be that good, but, you know, just Distortion Wall is the thing. But it's still nice to have in case you're a player who doesn't have any destroyers.
I don't know. You and I are different with Lost World, though. I am the type of player who, like, if I'm playing Lost World, I want everything in my deck to be devoted to killing my opponent. I run Distortion Wall, and that is, like, the only defensive card in my entire Lost deck.
Not necessarily true, but yeah.
Right. I want to kill things. If the card does not win the game, I don't want it. Right?
Well, in a sense, Dimension Gate does that too, but just in a different way.
It's not good enough for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Lost World's not good enough for you.
I don't think I'd play it, honestly, unless it said put all cards on your opponent's field.
It's attacking card.
I know.
Um,
I think that would be literally the only way to get me to actually play it.
all right, and I believe you have a card that we've joked around about it getting straight onto the regular list.
So if there's ever a card that causes Bushiroad to do an emergency irregulars list, this is it. Let's talk for a moment, if you would please, guys, about Vile Demonic Wear Fortress Wall. The new item from Lost World.
What'd it do, Jacob? What'd it do?
So it has 10,000 power and 2 critical.
Oh, pretty standard.
Yeah. Your opponent cannot call monsters by card effects. Maybe I should have left that for last.
Congratulations. You just tried
What?
that. Yes, technically it won't be affecting the game right away, but there's a lot of decks that like to call things by effects, you know? Garga. That's basically all. The other half of the meta. Oh, wait. Max Dragons. Well, that's basically their whole scheme. Dimension Dragons, kind of. Astros. There goes their aggro deck. Mystic Knight.
Size 1 LDOs do it.
Yep. Size 1 LDOs. I don't believe, whatchamacallit, Mystic Knights do it, do they?
Not really, no.
No, okay. Yeah, it kind of takes out a lot of the big name decks.
And here's the thing. We haven't even read the rest of the cards. We will analyze that ability a little bit more, but let's get through the rest of it. So, counteract. During an attack on your opponent's turn, you may pay 1 gauge. If you do, nullify that attack.
Oh, there's your
Not once per turn.
Oh, great. Thank you. You're stopping me from calling stuff, and now you're going to do that to me.
It also has double attack.
Yeah, that's kind of standard.
So my
wait
point...
a minute. What was the equip cost?
Nothing.
And thank you for joining us for this live stream. It was a pleasure. Fortress Wall. Jacob.
The text that says your opponent cannot call stuff, if that text was not there, this card would still be really good. It's a infinite during your opponent's turn, 1 gauge nullifying attack with no restrictions whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It has double attack with 2 crit. It has no requirements for equipping it, so it's great for all those decks that aren't super Lost Vader heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to the last one, we got the triple attacker that requires 3 cards on the field, and then you do this, then that.
No, it doesn't require 3 cards on the field.
Well, in order to get it for free, is what I'm saying. It's
Oh,
3
that's
gauge.
4. You need 4 cards.
Oh, wait.
Pretty sure it's
I
4
don't know.
gauge.
3 gauge. I think it's 3 gauge.
It might
The
be.
point is, this card, Lost World cards with no setup required, are important. You know, there are a lot of really broken Lost World cards that already require you to have a Lost Vader on the field or something like that. Guess what? This card's also a Lost Vader, so it counts for that. This card's extremely good, and it shuts down half of the meta on its own. It's kind of nuts, to be honest. All I'm saying is it's not the most broken card ever because it's behind Lost World, but it makes running a deck without Lost World much more of a suicide move.
Yeah. Because what decks can you think of could run a Lost World deck without this being, even with this card coming out, so forth, and be fine? What do you think?
Without Lost World?
Yeah.
0?
Really? I would say Max Dragons would be fine, but outside of that whole fact of they can't call stuff, but as long as they get to their point and can stay there for a while, they're good.
So the point is, decks that do not call by card effects just got a big boost by this card existing. So Mystic Knights are a good one. Godpunks don't do any calling. I'm trying to think of other meta decks that don't call from anywhere.
Now, who knows? You might even see the return of Dual Golems with the insert of Brawl Zeus
I like it.
to then Brawl Zeus away item and then proceed to
This card's nuts.
Go crazy.
Straight up nutso. And I think people have been kind of like sleeping on it a little bit. But when we're talking raw power out of the set, this is absolutely the number one card. And I don't know if it's a regulars list worthy. We're going to have to wait a couple,
We have to see it in action, obviously.
Yeah.
See if it truly does destroy the game or something like that. But it's just nice to joke around about.
But if there's a card going on the irregulars list from this set, this is the one. Or it's Buddy Block.
It's true. You have anything else from Lost World, sir? Because I only had Dimension Gate.
I want to talk about it not because I'm a fan, but because it is really interesting to analyze. And that's our big new boss card.
The Gargantua?
No.
Cross?
No.
Ito?
No.
Oh. The other monster.
Vanity.
Oh, no, the other one.
No. Stop it. Vile Demonic Husk Deity Dragon Vanity End Destroyer. Whew. That is a mouthful of a name right there. And I feel like if Husk keeps getting more support, he's like just gonna go nuts with the name. He's gonna be. I mean, I'm looking at the like actual scan of the card, and the name literally goes edge to edge. Look at it.
You know what I say to this card? Go, go. I'm just going to keep attacking. You'll have no souls by the end of this.
So, it's Lost Vader, Dimension Dragon, no surprise there. 70,000 power, 2 crit, 1,000 defense. You only call Vile Demonic Husk Deity Dragon Vanity and Destroy once per fight, which I think is new. I don't think we've ever had a monster with that restriction before. That you can only call 1 per game.
This is true, but in a sense, it's kind of like Overturn Miseria. You only need the 1, but you run multiples just so you see it.
Right. So call cost. If you have 1 or more hand cards, put all hand cards into this card's soul face down. So I like how they made it. So
Wait. It has nothing to do with this, but I want a meme to be made out of this. I want a JoJo meme made with Vanity and Go-Go.
Okay. So
Well, you're approaching me?
he's sitting here thinking about that. I'm sitting here going, you should run this in Onis.
How's that going to help you?
What do you mean?
It's going to be a lost deck.
Yeah, but you can.
Oh, wait, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
All hand cards go face down into its soul.
You're right. I forgot about
Onis tier 1.
Whoa.
You just got to build draw-based Onis, which is not hard.
Well, there is one hard piece about it. How big is the deck going to be, though?
50.
We'll see.
So, continuing on. When this card enters the field, put your entire deck into its soul face down.
Nice.
So I have a curious question with face down cards. I wonder if you're able to change their order, like shuffle them around, because like then you can keep track of which one's your hand cards or which one's from your deck. I wonder.
Well, that's kind of easy to do. If you ask me, you could be like hand first and then place deck underneath, or deck first and then place hand underneath that.
So this card looks at Death Talca and goes like, check this out. Because Death Talca is all about the big soul, right? This guy's like, no, literally everything goes into the soul.
Oh, you're
Let's
talking
go.
OG.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you cannot lose this fight. This card in the field cannot have its abilities nullified, and its souls cannot be dropped by your opponent's card effects.
Which it needs to have,
Yeah.
but there is one card that counters it.
We'll get to that.
We will.
Ability, Dimension Gate Desist. At the start of each player's turn, put a card from this card's soul into your hand. So
And there goes your rearranging as well, if you really want to.
Right. And then triple attack, Soul Guard, Lifelink, lose. The big thing about this, though, is it is literally the biggest wall in the game. But shout out to our boy Athora SD.
Well, I was gonna comment on. I don't know about how it's the biggest wall in the game per se, but
It's a pretty big wall.
it is. I'm not saying it's not.
So yeah, Athora SD.
Athora SD, man,
Athora
just
SD.
bounce all the souls back into the hand, which is also scary. But now you have a card that you can potentially swing at this Vanity to GG game. Right, he has protection against destruction, right?
No. So the idea here is you're going to
hold on,
Athora
hold on.
SD him, bounce his entire soul to the hand, so their deck and hand are back into the hand, and somehow you have to destroy it once.
Oh, I was wait, hitting crossbows during your opponent's turn, right?
Either.
Oh, even better than you hitting crossbow.
Right. As long as they don't have any, literally any cards to counter that in their lost deck.
Well, they will. Or even just proceed to Brawl Zeus.
Brawl Zeus OP.
This is true.
So all you need are two specific cards in your hand when your opponent does it, and you have to live through their turn and have a Brawl Zeus and an unsearchable card called the Thora SD.
Well, it should be.
And
should
then
have an
you
Athora SD and then said card to get rid of. Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see if it actually makes it into meta Lost World decks. It might be thrown in at one just because.
I think it'll see some play, but not, be meta dominant. It is certainly a better gimmick boss card than Haigaku Ganyami Geto was when he came out.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it'll see at least a little bit of play. Some people will like it. Some people will experiment with it. And I am a little concerned about what that will do to competitive play for like people who just meme and play it just to force games to go to time.
I don't think it's going to go to time because there's too many decks right now that can just swing almost 10 times per turn. Gargantua. Then you also have LDOs if you get the right setup. Astros for days. But yeah, that's a thing.
Yep. That's all I have to say about it, really.
Yeah.
Cool card design. A little OP, but not too much.
I like
it.
I don't say it's OP.
It is definitely the type of card that will make some people salty, though.
Mm-hmm. You know what would have been better for this card is if it would have said you can only play one copy of it. Because in a sense, you'd still keep the whole. You can only play one per game.
One copy of a card in a 30 card deck is still not that hard to get, so.
Exactly. That's why it would work out.
Yeah.
That's basically it for Lost World, huh?
Yeah.
All right, off to the next one, right? Star Dragon.
Star Dragon. Do you have anything?
Let me see here. Nope. You got anything?
This is a first for TCG Buzz. Jacob.
Have something?
Jacob has decided to talk about a Star Dragon World card. And it's Jackknife support.
Son of What is it?
I actually would like to talk about a Jackknife support card. I'd like to talk about Star Jack Revival.
Mm-hmm.
Because, bias against Jackknife aside, it is one of the strongest legacy support cards ever released in Buddy Fight.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Let's see. Do you remember the card?
Nope.
At all?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so we get Dalton's live reaction. So I'm going to leave the screen on him, and we're going to judge his reaction as I read it. So it's a spell card.
Oh.
Attribute of Star. Whoa. That's so relevant. Call cost. Drop a soul from a monster with Jackknife in its name on your field, and drop a hand card.
Okay.
So it's a little high priced, but not so bad. Counter. Choose and use one of the following two. You may only cast this card once per fight.
Okay.
Again, that's a pretty new thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going... Serious question. Are we going to get more of these once per fight cards?
Yes, actually. We have overturns and overkills and overkill reboots and overthrows coming.
I suppose it's a good way to balance some of these cards. So, for this turn, all monsters with Jackknife in their card name on your field cannot be destroyed or leave the field by your opponent's card effects. Note, because of the wording, it says leave the field, not be like bounced or anything like that. That gets around so many things.
It gets around Brawl Zeus.
It gets around Brawl Zeus, exactly. Then, its second ability, until the beginning of your opponent's next turn, you cannot lose the game.
Oh, it's Uno.
With no restrictions besides having a Jackknife on the field with a soul. Yeah, it's really, really good. It is legitimately really, really good. I'm not joking. I'm not being sarcastic or anything. This card is the one thing that could actually make Jackknife top. Sure. Will it top? No. Could it? Yes. But seriously, this card is great. It's a prevent you from losing the game skill and a prevent the entire, all your monsters from being destroyed or leave or anything like that for an archetype that desperately needs both of those things. And it's cheap relatively. It is easy to cast with pretty much no restrictions on it whatsoever. Good card.
Yeah.
Now to see other Legacy decks get cards at that power.
Yeah. Well, there is one card that's not in this set that I kind of want to talk about.
It's not in this set?
No.
What are you doing?
Just because I feel like this has been a pretty... it might have been decently long. But let's talk about this new Jackknife that's coming out. Just that card specifically. Let's talk about its overturn. And how shit it is. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Because it's cool Jackknife's getting another card. Yay.
He's totally spoiling this for when we review that set, but let's...
Am I? Are we ever going to talk about it?
Maybe.
No, we're not. You know that. It's just... Because why would you use its overturn over the other Jackknife's overturn?
Like, first of all, the fact that it's a Thunder Empire is the stupidest thing ever because
It's
it will
kind of awkward.
it will literally never be played in Thunder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ever.
And its overturn would never be used unless you build a Jackknife deck in Star Dragon World that doesn't run the other Jackknife for some strange reason. I don't know why you wouldn't run it, but...
And, like, I could see the argument of it being extra copies of the other Jackknife, because it toolboxes them out, if they didn't both have overturn.
If it was an overthrow, it'd be okay.
It would actually be pretty good then, because
Yep.
to give credit, the original Jackknife overturn is really good. It's one of the best control abilities in the game.
That's a nice thing you're about to do there. It'd be a shame if I were to nullify it.
Why they gave the best control ability of the game to Jackknife, I still do not understand.
That totally should have been a star thing, but yeah. But yeah, I think that's basically going to wrap it up. Even though we are missing cards in this set. But, you know, who knows? We can keep talking about it in our Discord. How do you feel this set's going to do?
I think overall it is, not counting the cards we don't know yet, okay. Is it the best set ever? No. Is it the worst set ever? No. Does Jacob say that a lot about a lot of sets? Yes. I think this is a solid 6 or 7 out of 10. If that makes sense. I really like Genesis Dragons.
Well, which one is confirmed to be the correct archetype name?
Genesis.
So, I agree. Primordial Dragons are going to be cool. I actually do agree with you with your ranking of how the set's going to do of a 6 to 7. Should be interesting.
I think the Ancient World support's really good. I think the Star Dragon World support is pretty good. I think the Lost World support's pretty good. I think the one generic card's really good. It's the Dragon World that's bringing it down.
Yeah.
Not because it's bad, but because it's boring.
Yeah, because it's definitely a set 1 Dragon World support outside of the Dimension Dragons, which is definitely, you can almost argue a definite like set 4 type of vibes for its support. But the fact that you're introducing a whole new mechanic for Dragon Deity Tribe, it definitely seems set 1-esque vibes.
The Dragon World stuff out of this is honestly kind of lackluster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know about power. Power-wise, I think it's the Garga stuff's fine power-wise. The Dimension Dragon stuff is underpowered, but that's a good thing because they're already the most dominant deck of the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if I was doing a case split for this set, I would not be picking Dragon World.
That's fair. That is fair.
And
so, I guess it's kind of time to wrap her up, huh?
yeah, I think I'm going to leave off with my final thought being, everyone please press F in the chat for those people who decided to pick up both LDOs and Astrodragons, and now we'll either have to constantly switch that new staple card between the two of them or buy an extra playset.
Yeah. If you want to keep talking about this set, go to our Discord. We'll gladly keep talking about it. Make sure to subscribe. Hit the bell to get them notifications, though. Follow us on Instagram. You can support us on Patreon or checking out our shop. All links in the description down below. And stay classy, y'all.
Thanks for listening to TCG Buzz. New episodes can be found on tcgbuzz.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. For box openings, deck profiles, and more, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.